What's going on, Laker Nation? Take a look at this. LeBron, was just like, pull up to the house. Lillard told Murdoch. And I'm like, shit, I'm out here. Tomorrow is the only day I ain't got nothing planned out. I can pull up for a little bit. We just chopped it up just about the possibilities. Later he adds, people make a joke out of it. It's sometimes like, man, he's too loyal. He don't want to win. He just wants his money. I don't take nothing away from those guys. I think a lot of times, because of my stance on it, people try to put my stance on it as if I'm belittling or saying something bad about guys that do move. And I'm not. I'm just standing on my square about what I believe. They can do whatever they want. If that's what makes them happy, then do it. Lastly, I want to win with the Trailblazers. I want to win a championship where I am. I don't think I would feel the same joy and happiness if I did it elsewhere. I would be happy, no doubt. Like winning a chip, you get that experience. But I know how I want it. So Damian Lillard is talking about the Anthony Davis and LeBron James recruitment speech. Damian Lillard met up with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and he revealed that, LeBron and him were chopping it up and basically just exploring the possibilities, exploring about what it would look like with the three of them on the same team. Now, we know Damian Lillard is extremely loyal, is extremely faithful to Portland, and I don't think that he would want to leave Portland, at least anytime soon. I could see like maybe the last year or two of his career, he's like, all right, like I did all I could. Let me go somewhere else. But at that point, it might be a little too late for him. Nonetheless, the reason I wanted to talk about this, because obviously, look, he's admitting that he talked to them about potential possibilities, which, hey, look, if I can get you to talk about it, I can get you to envision it, I can get you to want it a little bit, and, think like, yeah, that would be kind of cool, then that means there's at least a bit of interest there. Not saying that that's going to happen, but hey, I got you there. I got you where I need you for, if something does develop. Now, Portland isn't going to be very good this year. And if you're Portland, at some point, do you just make a decision to just say, you know what, let's scrap everything and start fresh? Because, think of Scoot and Victor Wembanyama and stuff like that. Like, if Portland is terrible this year, do they just say, you know what, let's blow it up, trade everybody, and try to go get Victor, right? Because their pick is, yes, it's owned by Chicago, but it's top 14 protected. So they have this year's pick if they were to land the number one pick. So at some point, do you just say, hey, Dame, I know you want to be here, and look, we definitely want you here, but we're not going to be able to put a team around you that to actually contend and win. We got, a couple young guys, which are nice. Can we just, where would you want to go, man? What would you want to do? And I don't think anybody would knock Damian Lillard. I don't think anybody would blame Damian Lillard. And I even think the Portland fans would be like, hey, it's okay. And I'm not saying he necessarily has to go to LA, right? It's just interesting that he talked to LeBron and Anthony Davis. And look, I would love to see Damian Lillard go elsewhere and win a championship, even if it's not LA. If he went to Milwaukee, and won a championship with the Bucks, I'd be like, good. To see Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is one of the few players in the league that I genuinely would love to see just at least have an opportunity to win a championship. Portland's never been a legit contender. They've gone pretty deep in the playoffs before, but even then, they weren't a legit contender. Damian Lillard, I think, in the right situation, I think with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, they're definitely a legit contender. I truly believe that. And I just think, I really believe, as much as Portland and, the Lakers rivalry and stuff, if Damian Lillard was all right, I want you to trade me, or the organization went to him and was like, hey man, I don't know how well this is going to work, then, where do you want to go? And if Lillard says I want to go to the Lakers, I do believe that they would trade him to the Lakers just for all that he's done for that city, all that he's done for Portland. I really do. I think Portland would trade him to the Lakers. And Damian Lillard has even admitted that he told LeBron and them that he doesn't really know the direction in which Portland is going. He said that. He doesn't know if he can really win there, and he doesn't know what direction they're heading. And then this offseason, they go and reboot and, kind of retool and rebuild from the ground up. And they still didn't put anybody around him that's good enough for the long haul. But they do have a really nice young stud. They do have nice young talent. Do you move off of Damian Lillard and really go try? Like, do you trade Jeremy Grant? Do you go trade Nurkic? Like, do you trade those guys and try to go get some assets, stuff like that? Trade Damian Lillard and go get whatever you can. Again, not saying he has to go to Lakers, but like trade him, let him go to a team that he wants to, like whatever team that is. If he wants to go to a team, let him go there, get whatever assets you can for that, and then just tank for either a Scoot or Victor. I think if you're Portland, like that at this point, this is the best case scenario. Because even next year, there's no free agents that you're going to be able to get to go get Damian Lillard. So Portland's going to be terrible for at least 2, maybe 3 years. And at that point, that's it. Like Damian Lillard might as well forget winning a championship ever. And look, maybe that's not the most important thing for him, which very well could be. It might not be the biggest, sort of motivator for him. Not everybody is like, I have to win an NBA championship in this league. And that's kind of what he's talking about and addressing. Like, it's just not my style. It's not my thing. But even if he doesn't want to, even if he wants to stay there, like if you're Portland at some point, don't you just say like, hey, like we love you. We'd love to have you here, but we need to figure out what we're going to do. You're 32 years old. We're going to be bad for at least another 2 years. So that puts you at, 34, 35, like, I don't know if we're going to be able to get you a championship in the next 5 years and you're going to be out of the league. I really think Damian Lillard, if Portland said like, hey, where do you want to go? We'll trade you. I really think Damian Lillard would say, okay, trade me. I really do. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he say, yeah, tell you what, trade me to this team? Like if they came to him, I just don't think he wants to be the bad guy. I don't think he wants to feel like he let the city down and the team down and all of those things. I think that that's kind of how he looks at it. I don't know for certain. That's just my guess, just from what we've seen. But I really do. I think that if the organization went to him and just laid it all out there, I think Damian Lillard would allow it. I think Damian Lillard would say, okay, like, yeah, I want to go to this team. I want to go to Lakers. I want to go wherever. And then, of course, if you're the Lakers, you do whatever it takes. If you're the Lakers, you trade everything to go get Damian Lillard. Because he's still 32 years old. Even after LeBron, he'd be 34, 35. You'd still have Anthony Davis. You could, Damian Lillard still probably got enough in the tank to go get you, another couple role guys or another star or something like that, and you're good. Like, if there is ever an opportunity for the Lakers to go get Damian Lillard, you trade whatever it takes. You open your roster and you say, here you go. Take your pick. Anything you want besides LeBron James and Anthony Davis is yours. I just think whatever that is, you give it up. You say, here you go. Both firsts, as much as I love Max Christie, here you go. Now you got a nice young, already NBA-ready defender. Now you just got to work on his offensive game, and you might actually have a real thing here because it's Damian Lillard. And Damian Lillard, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis are good enough to win you a championship, maybe even multiple. Like, even with the role guys they have now, this would be a legit contender. So, again, I'm not saying that it would happen. I really do think Portland at least tries to work it out and see what they have this year. But if Portland's, like, in, like, the 11th or 12th seed, and they're just not very good, I could see Portland saying, you know what, like, let's just tank. Let's just call it a day. I mean, granted, they could just sit Damian Lillard, right? And whatever, Damian Lillard all of a sudden gets an injury and he's out for the rest of the year or whatever. They could go that route to tank. But even then, like, now you still need to develop Victor. Like, you might as well just full-fledged say, okay, we're going for Victor, or if we can't get Victor, hopefully Scoot, and that's where we're heading. New direction, new beginning. Trade Damian Lillard, get those assets, start growing with the team that you have. Take all the guys, that you don't need for the future, and just get rid of them. Unload all of them. I think you could get assets for multiple guys, right? I mean, you got Sharp, right? So you got a young potential stud. You still have Simons, right? So there you go. There's those guys. Kean Johnson is another guy that comes to mind. I know I'm missing somebody. Is it Walker? Jabari Walker? Him? Little? There we go. Like, so basically you just would get rid of like Jeremy Grant. I mean, you could trade Josh Hart, right? They still have Josh Hart, Nurkic, and whoever else. Take your pick. You basically open your roster to everybody. They did just sign Gary Payton II this year. I would probably keep him, right? But outside of that, like, I would open up my entire roster, trade everybody, and just embrace the tank. Assuming, you're bad. Now, if you're a team, like, if they're good and they're like in the playoffs, then yeah, maybe you don't. But again, if they're like the 12th seed, you might as well just lose. Trade anybody that could give you a chance to win and just try to go get Victor. You land Victor, the world is saved. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What would you think about Damian Lillard going to the Lakers? Do you think it would ever happen? Do you think it won't? I'm not saying it will happen. Personally, I wouldn't bet on it. I don't think it happens, but you never know. You never know. Damian Lillard, at least, like I said earlier, Damian Lillard at least was entertaining the idea. He at least had a conversation about it and talked about the possibilities. He relayed that he doesn't know how he feels about Portland and their direction and stuff. All of these things are the beginning stages of like, all right, like I would be open to leaving. So I don't think he wants to, but I think it might end up being the best. But again, however you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section.